we've been asked to demonstrate how you might go about making a symbol that looks a little more realistic if you want to specify Photinia robusta. If I select it, it's a Photinia fraseri, but the symbol looks a bit repetitive as you're moving down through there. How do you go about making a new version of that? Well, the first step is to edit the symbol and work with it in the way and adjust it in the way you want. My first step would be to find on the net an image of Photinia robusta with this particular red tinge, and I'd want to know the precise red, green and blue tint of the red and the green of the Photinia. The best and quickest way to do that is to use our favourite IrfanView, the free image editor that we recommend using. So let's swing to it. Here we are in IrfanView, and I'll just magnify it a little. What we're interested in doing is picking up this red colour and maybe the green colour so that we can work with those two colours. It's very easy in IrfanView to determine the precise mixes of colour just by clicking. I want this red colour, and I click on it. Can you see up in what is effectively the top of the screen, it gives me the red, green and blue combination, 183, 55 and 60, and the same applies with the green. It's 95, 119 and 83. So you just jot those numbers down, and then you can move back into the gCADPlus environment, and I'll show you how to make a symbol that reflects this particular species. We're now back in the gCADPlus environment. Let's just pick this shape, this red shape. It's a closed polyline. So let's escape from there. First thing I think I'll do is set that to the green colour that we picked up from IrfanView, and we'll click up here in colour and come down, and so we're going to select the colour. We now, from our IrfanView measurements, we know that green is 86, 112 and 29. That should be close to the colour of a true Photinia bush, and it's quite dark, and I think that looks reasonable. The next step, go back in again and edit the block, and we need to draw a series of leaves now. I'd draw those with a polyline, and we'll set them off to one side. So just draw polyline in the shape of the Photinia leaves. You can make it as big as you like to get more control, but the leaf shape is fairly quite normal, and we'll close that one and then draw a couple of others. When we've done that, we'll tag those with the colour that we want, and we might draw, well, we'll do a fit curve, and we'll draw another polyline from this point here, because it's got a relatively prominent midline, and we'll set the colour now. This is a closed polyline, so we can again set the colour in exactly the same way. Come down here, select colour, we can type in our 191 for the red, 47 for the proportion of green, and 56 for the blue, and we'll go OK. And that should be, if we unselect all, and if we then fill it, and we might put a border on. I'd make the border colour not quite black but close-ish to it, and I'd use tools and send it to the back, and there we have a leaf for a Photinia. We'll make several more in a moment, and then start putting them on top of the green base. I'm not sure that we need these deep indents here, but we'll leave them for the moment. Well, we now have 3 additional leaves, and these are the ones that give it this particular variety the colour. I think I'd be inclined to select them all and scale them, just come out near the edge and sort of bring that down. Then I would copy them several times over here and then start dropping them in like so. I think I'd be inclined to get hold of, say, 3 of them and then rotate them like so, and then copy those. They've been rotated so they look a little different. Maybe back to this group and rotate that group around in that direction and copy that like so. And I think that that'll give us the appearance of, oh, I missed one of those, didn't I? Maybe we copy this group of 4 again over there. It's quite dense, we want it to look quite dense, and now we can get rid of all of those. And I think if we close our block editor, I think that gives us the sort of appearance that I want. Now I'd argue that that's a little too intense, especially the green behind and the red. I'd probably want to lighten off the colours just a little bit, but that's for another day. So that's how to adjust a symbol on the fly, and we showed earlier that that symbol can then be added to your block library as a named variety. Well, I've returned to the symbol and adjusted some of the colours. I've taken a really quick and dirty way of doing it. I've picked the green and knocked the transparency down to 175, and also played with the transparency of a number of the reds. That's fine, but I would, if I'm going to use this in drawings as a block, it is going to slow down the printing time if I print to a PDF writer. So I think a much better approach would be to choose a series of reds using colours from the full set, from select colour, go to true colour, and pick a red that's going to be as close as we can get it to the I'm still in the wrong area, aren't I? I need to be down here. That's getting better. Still want it redder than that. That's probably reasonable. And we can say OK and OK. So unselect all. Can you see by choosing the right colour we can get the right feel, and that doesn't work. So I'm going to use modify match properties, and I'll pick that one again and pop it, whoops, there, like so. So some fiddling around, if this is important to you, you can use the quick and dirty way. Let's now close the block editor, come back here, and I'm relatively happy with that. I'd want to pick some of these symbols and rotate them and scale them a little bit differently, just to give a little bit of more organic look to the whole site.